Okay, here we go. Continuing on with 4.3. This is a third video, 4.3C. We just got done with the evil boat problems about boats going up and down stream, and now we're going to get into example 6 and example 7, and then we'll be done. And one of the things that's important is so many of these problems are exactly like a couple sections that we've already done. So not a whole lot of variation. It's just that we're using 2 equations or 3 equations in example 6 compared to just 1 equation in some of the other ones. So anyway, example 6, we've got this coin collection and we've got 14 coins. So we have a total number of 14 coins. And the value of those 14 coins is $1.35. And the coins are nickels, dimes, and quarters. Now the book uses X, Y, and Z. I like to use the first initials so I know which ones I'm talking about. I said that before. So we're trying to come up with a few equations in order to find out how many of each coin are in the collection. So we want the number of dimes, number of nickels, number of dimes, number of quarters. So that's what we're looking for, N, D, and Q. So that would be each coin. So we have 14 coins with a value of $1.35. So if we have 14 coins, if we take the number of nickels plus the number of dimes plus the number of quarters and add those together, we get 14 coins total. Well, that's one of our equations there. What else do we know? The coins, the number of nickels. The number of nickels is 3 less than twice the number of dimes. Does that make sense? Number of nickels is 3 less than twice the number of dimes. So there's another equation for us. So let's turn this around though so that we get all of our letters on the same side. It makes it a lot easier. So let's write this as n minus 2d equals negative 3. So there's our second equation. Let's go ahead and write that here. N minus 2d equals negative 3. Okay. So now we need to come up with a third equation. How do I know we need to come up with a third equation? Because we have 3 variables. We have 3 different value of coins. So if we have 3 things we're looking for, we have to have 3 equations. That's just the normal way things are done. So let's make me some room here. What have we not used yet? We have not used the $1.35. So if we took the value of a nickel and multiplied it by the number of nickels we have, that gives us a value of nickels. If we add the value of a dime times the number of dimes we have, that gives us the value of dimes, and value of quarters times the number of quarters we have, that gives us the value of the quarters. If we took the value of nickels, value of dimes, the value of quarters, added them together, we'd get $1.35. So let's just say, for instance, we had 2 nickels. That means our value of our nickels would be 10 cents. Let's say that I had 3 dimes. That means the value of dimes I had would be 30 cents. And if I had, say, 6 quarters, the value of quarters would be $1.50. And if I added up the 10 cents, the 30 cents, and the $1.50, that would give me the total value of my nickels, dimes, and quarters. Okay, I'm just using that as an example. And that is what we get when we add all of these up, and it says we're going to get $1.35. So let's move this over, make it a little smaller. Okay, and that equals 1.35. All right, so let's change the decimals so that we're not dealing with those. So let's do 5n plus 10d plus 25q equals 135. We just moved all the decimals over too, so that we're not dealing with decimals there. Okay, so we've got, let me make that a little bigger again. So far we've got this equation and this equation. Now we have this one. So let's put that over here. 5n plus 10d plus 25q equals 135. So there's our three equations there. And so in order to solve these three equations, we're going to use elimination or the addition method. And we will, first of all, let's try to get rid of the n from the first and second equation. Since they don't have any numbers there, all I have to do is make this bottom n a negative. So we're going to multiply the whole thing by like a -1. And when we do that, that changes to a negative, a positive, and that changes. So let's just do the n plus d plus q equals 14, first one. And this is our changed second one. So those go away. We end up with 3d plus q equals 17. All right, so there's one of our equations that right now has two variables. Now we're going to combine two more equations here, doesn't matter which ones, in order to have just a d and a q as well, so that we can put that equation down here and solve this one. So that's what I'm going to do at this point, is see what in the world I can do in order to get rid of, again, another n. So I'm going to look at the first n and the second and the third n. If I multiply this top by 5, or -5, that'll be -5 plus +5. That will give me 0. So let's go ahead and write that down here. We'll do it in blue. We're going to multiply it, the top, by -5. So everything gets -5, and 14 times 5 is -70. Okay, and then we put the bottom one on here. We didn't do anything to it. Okay, add those together. Those go away. This becomes a 5d plus 20q equals 65. Okay, so there's my other equation with just d and q. So let's bring this one and this one together. d plus 20q equals 65. Okay. So, all right, so let's move this over here. So this is what we're focusing on right here. Let's go to some black ink. So let's see. Probably the easiest thing would be to multiply this top by -20 so that we get a -60d minus 20q equals -340. And the reason I did that is because this doesn't have a number. And if I can multiply this times this and get -20, when I add the positive 20, I'll get 0. Okay, so those go away. And this gives me a -55d equals 40, 25, 275. And if I divide both sides by -55, my d equals 5. So that's how many dimes I have. I've got 5 dimes. So that's a good start. So now I can go up to, let's say, this problem right here. Doesn't really matter which one we pick. 3 dimes plus quarters equals 17. Well, I found out D was 5, so I have 15 dimes plus quarters equals 17, which means my Q is equal to 2. So now I have my quarters and I have my dimes, and now I just need to find my nickels. Now, if you remember from clear back at the beginning in the story problem, I have 14 coins total. So that means if I have 2 quarters and 5 dimes, that means my number of, dimes, my number of nickels is going to be 7, so that they add up to 14. And that's it. Now, the book did it kind of the way I did. They kind of skipped some steps, assuming you knew what you were doing, and maybe I should have done that too. Okay, let's look at example number 7. So we've got a chemistry lab. We're going to look at Fahrenheit temperatures and Celsius temperatures. So at room temperature, we find that our Fahrenheit temperature is 77 degrees. And our Celsius temperature, instead of 77 degrees, is 25 degrees. So it's just a different way of measure. It's kind of like, it is metric, going back and forth between inches and centimeters. This is going back and forth between Fahrenheit and Celsius. So then we heat the water up until it boils. When it boils, it's at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's 100 degrees Celsius. So it says, assume that the relationship between the two temperature scales is a linear one. Linear is very important because linear means that you can write all of these equations in our slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. But instead of using the y and the x, we're going to use Celsius and Fahrenheit because those are the two things that we're comparing here. And I put the Celsius first because at the bottom it says Celsius in terms of Fahrenheit. That means Celsius alone, Fahrenheit with other things to compare the two. Okay, so here's our equation. In order to solve this, we need to find what M and B are because they're asking us to invent a formula. Find a formula so that has C and F in it. So that means I have to find something for M and B. Okay, so here's how we do this. First of all, I'm going to take this first bit of information. So instead of a C, I'm going to use 25. Instead of an F, I'm going to use 77. So let's write that here. 25 equals M times 77 plus B. Now, I don't like it written like that. I'm going to write it a little bit different. So all I did was move this over here to equals 25, and I switched these two around. I'm going to do the same thing with this next equation because I'm going to do this here. And it says that it's going to, in fact, I'm going to put it down a little bit lower. It's going to say 100 equals M times Fahrenheit, 212, plus B. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the 100 over here. I'm going to switch the 212 and the M around and leave my B alone and erase that. So there's my two equations there. Now, if I'm going to bring these two together and find out what like M is or B is, I've got to get rid of one of them, remember? So I'm going to multiply the top by -1. And if I do that, I get negative 77M minus B equals negative 25. And the bottom one okay, so notice what I've got here when I do that. These will cancel out. So now I just have my 212 minus 77, which is going to give me, let's go back to black, 135M. Those go away, and that's going to equal 75. M equals 75 5 over 135, which equals 5/9. So I have found that my m is 5/9, and that's what I want. I wanted to find something. So let's put this down here on the bottom. C equals 5/9 F plus B. All right, so now my job is to find out what B is. Once I find B, I'm done because C and F I'm supposed to have in here. So 5/9 was found for M. Now I need to find what this B is. So what I can do is I can go up to one of the other problems I had. So I can take maybe this problem or this problem or equation, and I can put in the 5/9 for the M. So let's say, for instance, I take this one right here, and I'm going to rewrite this as, okay, so again, this is where I'm at, and I'm looking for the B. So let's take the 77M plus B equals 25. And instead of M, I'm going to put this 5/9 since I know what that equals. Okay, so if we continue on with this, we get 385 when we multiply 77 times 5 over 9 plus B equals 25. Subtract this from both sides. Okay, so now we just have B equals that. That does not look very fun. So we have to find common denominators. 9 times the top and bottom. And that gives me B, equals negative 160 over 9. So back to my original problem up here. I just found what B is. So now I can rewrite this as, and do it in blue, C equals 5/9 F minus that. So that is the equation that they're wanting you to come up with. C in terms of F. So that one's a hard one. That one is one that look at all this stuff that we had to do to find that. So a lot of work involved, a lot of detail, but now that you have the system to do it, hopefully you can go back and be able to do that when you're given some of these problems in the homework.